Hello guys and welcome back to TechWolf. Today we are going to do another CompTIA Plus Core 2 practice test. And no further ado, let's get into it. And first question is, a Windows PC is experiencing frequent out-of-memory errors when running multiple applications, despite having sufficient RAM installed. What should the technician check first? So we are having an error which is out of memory, so we don't have any memory in real time, and we have a good RAM or enough RAM installed on this particular computer. So what from these options the technician should check? First, virtual memory page file settings, monitor refresh rate, Windows firewall settings, power supply wattage, or BIOS update availability. And here the correct answer is virtual memory page file settings. I will make it smaller. So, and this is because if a virtual memory is set too low, the system may run out of memory even with ample or even with enough RAM installed. Adjusting the page file size can help. And this is also one thing which you should know about computers, because this might happen also in your real work scenario if you will be working as an IT technician. And you should understand what are page files and where you can check them and where you can change them. So next question, a user reports that their laptop screen flickers randomly, especially when moving the lid. External monitors connected to the laptop display, no issues. What is the most likely cause? Outdated graphics driver, loose or damaged display cable, corrupt system files, incorrect power settings, or overheating CPU. Which one is the correct answer here? And in this scenario, the correct answer is loose or damaged display cable, as if the issue occurs when moving the laptop lid, the internal display cable may be loose or damaged. A user reports that their system is displaying a boot device not found. So our system, or pretty much this is the computer, as in IT we also call our computer system, if simply a system we can call it, and it displays a boot device not found error. The hard drive is detected in BIOS. What should the technician do next? However, as you can see, the hard drive is detected in BIOS, so we have a hard drive, but there is still this error, boot device not found error. So what should the technician do next from all these scenarios? Replace the monitor, change the default printer, delete the browser cookies, adjust the sound settings, or run a startup repair. And here the correct answer is run a startup repair, as if the BIOS detects the drive but the operating system won't load, a startup repair can fix boot file issues. A user complains that their laptop's touchpad is unresponsive, but an external mouse works fine. What should the technician check first? So our touchpad on our laptop is unresponsive if we try to use it, but if we connect an external mouse, it works with no problem. What should the technician check first, or what you as a technician should check first in this scenario? Touchpad settings in Windows, the printer queue, the network firewall rules, the browser home page, or the keyboard layout. And the correct answer here is the touchpad settings in Windows, as the touchpad may be disabled in Windows settings or via a function key. So this is also what you should be aware of, that you can display a touchpad on your laptops. And sometimes you can simply by mistake, by using a function key, can display also a touchpad, and that's why your touchpad is not working. Or you check Windows settings. Next question. A technician is troubleshooting a Windows PC that gets stuck at the Getting Windows Ready screen after an update. What should they try first? Replace the graphics card, perform a forced restart, change the user's password, adjust the taskbar settings, or disable the USB ports. So what you would do first? And here in this question, the correct answer is perform a forced restart, as if the system is stuck, forcing a restart may allow it to complete the update or enter recovery mode. A user reports that their monitor randomly goes black for a few seconds before returning to normal. So here we have a screen or monitor. If we have a monitor, this means that we are using a PC because that is an external monitor. This is not a screen, for example, for a laptop. Randomly glows black. So for some reason it goes randomly black. So what should the technician check first? The recycle bin storage, the user's browser cache, loose video cable connections, the default font settings, or the printer spooler service. And here in this scenario most likely would be that loose video cable connections, as there might be a connection problem simply as a loose or faulty cable can cause intermittent display issues. A laptop is not detecting any available Wi-Fi networks. Other devices in the same location can connect. So we can't connect with our laptop to a Wi-Fi. However, other devices can connect with no problem. So what should the technician check first? The laptop's wireless adapter status, the printer's ink levels. It doesn't apply in this. Anyway, you understand it straight away, as this has nothing to do with printer. Here we have a Wi-Fi network or Wi-Fi connectivity problem. The printer sync levels or the Windows update settings, the recycle bin contents, or the keyboard backlight settings, which would be the correct answer here. And here, as we are having a Wi-Fi network problem, so we have a connectivity problem, so we should check the laptop's wireless adapter status, as a disabled or malfunctioning wireless adapter can prevent Wi-Fi network detection. A user reports that their desktop computer is making a loud wiring noise. What is the most likely cause? So computer is making a noise, so what would be the most likely cause? And as you know from my previous videos, I have told you that there are only two main issues which can make a noise in your computer system, whether it's a laptop or whether it's a desktop PC or personal computer. So corrupt system files, malware infection, failing cooling fan, printer driver conflict, or incorrect display resolution. And here, as you remember from my previous, if you are watching my videos guys, then like I mentioned, there are only two things which can make these noises. Whenever you hear some noise question in your real exam, then straight away think about two things. One is cooling fan, because it has moving parts and bearings can go down, or another one is hard disk drive or HDD. It doesn't apply to SSD or solid state drives, as solid state drives doesn't have any moving parts. So here most likely the correct answer is failing cooling fan. And yes guys, I'm doing these for the very first time with you, so I might also make mistake, and if I will make a mistake, I will make this mistake with you. And as you see here, the failing cooling fan, as all these other question options doesn't apply, as a loud wiring noise often indicates a fan issue such as a dust buildup or mechanical failure. Like I mentioned, not only a fan, but always when you hear a noise, only two things. First is fan, a second one is HDD, if that particular computer has a hard disk drive. If it doesn't have a hard disk drive, then that most likely would be a fan. And next question, a technician is troubleshooting a laptop that does not detect an external monitor. So we have a laptop that does not detect an external monitor. So to this laptop we are trying to connect an external monitor. However, nothing from our laptop is being displayed to that external monitor. The monitor works with other devices, so there is no issue with the monitor as it works with other devices to which we connect that particular monitor. So what should the technician check first? And here, if you see questions like this, you should straight away start thinking about some software which could be the problem in this scenario, or about ports, for example, which could be disabled, or things like that. So let's read through the question or answer options. Display output settings. So what should the technician check first would be display output settings, the antivirus update history, the Wi-Fi network name. Nothing to do with Wi-Fi. Straight away think about what question is asking and about other things, like in this scenario it's telling the Wi-Fi network name. You should straight away exclude this because it has nothing to do with Wi-Fi. The user's login credentials or the taskbar icon alignment. So which one would be the correct answer here? And here, like I mentioned, most likely would be the display output settings, as the laptop may be set to output only to its internal display, as adjusting the display settings can resolve the issue. A user reports that they can hear audio from their laptop speakers, but not from their Bluetooth headphones. So we hear sound, we can hear the audio or sound from our speakers on our laptop, but not from the Bluetooth headphones when we connect or pair our device or laptop to the headphones. So the headphones are paired and set as the default device. What should the technician do next? Update the Bluetooth audio driver, adjust the monitor brightness, restart the Wi-Fi router, reset the Windows firewall, or uninstall the keyboard driver. And here the most logical answer is display output, or no, update Bluetooth audio driver. That would be update the Bluetooth audio driver, as that could be simply a driver problem, as outdated or corrupted audio drivers can cause connection issues with Bluetooth devices. A user's computer randomly restarts without warning. The event logs show kernel power event ID 41. What is the most likely cause? Incorrect display settings, failing power supply, corrupt printer drivers, weak Wi-Fi signal, or outdated keyboard firmware. Which would be the correct answer here? And here the correct answer is failing power supply, as a kernel power event 41 ID 41 error indicates an unexpected shutdown, often due to faulty power supply. A user reports that they cannot access certain websites, but other sites load normally. Other users on the same network are not experiencing issues. What should the technician check first? The Windows power settings, the keyboard drivers, the screen brightness, the printer queue, or the user's DNS settings. And here, like I was also mentioning in all my other videos, guys, whenever you hear something to do with websites, this means that we are connecting to the internet and we are trying to pretty much first thing connect to DNS server. So this would be the user's DNS settings, as incorrect DNS settings can prevent access to specific websites. A Windows computer crashes with a critical proceed died blue screen error. So BSOD or blue screen of this error. The issue started after a recent system update. What should the technician do first? Replace the motherboard, adjust the BIOS power settings, change the screen resolution, boot into safe mode and roll back the update, or disable Windows Defender. And here the correct answer is boot into safe mode and roll back the update, as a recent update may have introduced system instability. Rolling it back can resolve the issue. A remote user cannot connect to the corporate VPN. They have internet access and can browse the web. What should the technician check first? As you know, when you are using a company, or if you are in a company, you are allowing your users to connect to the company servers, to the company data or company internal network by using VPNs. So they have internet access. This particular user can, or users or user groups, they have internet access, but they can't connect to the company data. So what should the technician check first in this scenario? The power supply unit, the antivirus software settings, VPN server settings, the keyboard language settings, the Windows taskbar icons. And here also the question or the answer is pretty much straightforward, as what we should be checking is VPN server settings, as if the internet connection is working but the VPN is not, the issue may be with VPN server or its settings. And next question, after a power outage, a user's computer fails to boot and displays a no bootable device found error. What should the technician check first? BIOS boot order, display cable connection, Windows update history, printer driver settings, or Wi-Fi network settings. And here the correct answer is BIOS boot order, as a power outage can reset BIOS settings, causing the system to look for the operating system on the wrong device. A user reports that their browser keeps redirecting them to unwanted websites. They have cleared the cache and reset the browser settings, but the issue persists. What should the technician do next? Increase the monitor resolution, disable Windows firewall, restart the router, reinstall the browser, scan for malware and remove suspicious extensions. And here the correct answer is scan for malware and remove suspicious extensions. And by the way guys, here on Skill Test Pro, all these questions I love this. Actually, I have used this for myself guys, and one of the things is that they in depth are doing different practice tests on all subjects for particular exam. And for example, with one test they are checking your knowledge. I believe that this particular is testing your knowledge on different hardware components in relation to your, for example, knowledge of software, what you would use. And by the way, like I'm mentioning also in all of my videos, you can get free practice tests, 3 free practice tests on all examinations for CompTIA, Microsoft and Cisco examinations. If you scroll down here, you can see that there is like for CompTIA certifications, these are exams for Tech Plus, A Plus, Network Security, Cloud, CloudNet X, and all these exams. And there is also for Microsoft certifications, if you wish to do, as most of these exams, by the way, if you would be doing, for example, CompTIA Tech Plus practice test, it is very similar, I would say, to MS900 or CCT practice test. Actually, I haven't done myself MS900, I have done AZ900 myself. So I know, and I have also done CCT practice tests. This is very similar, like CCT is very similar to Tech Plus exam, for example. And cybersecurity practice test, as these are beginner cybersecurity for Cisco examinations, this is very similar to Security Plus from CompTIA A Plus. From CompTIA certification, sorry guys. So yes, you can get like I will not be actually clicking in, as let's finish this particular test in this video. as that doesn't apply. I just wanted to share this info with you if you are interested for taking 3 free practice tests for any of these examinations. So back to our question, a user is trying to connect to a shared network printer but receives an access denied error. Other users can print without issues. What should the technician check first? The printer's ink levels, the Windows firewall settings, user permissions on the printer server, the printer's physical connection, or the monitor refresh rate. And here the correct answer is a user's permissions on the printer server. And this is as well software related questions, as if other users can print, the issues is likely related to permission settings on the affected user. A user is unable to log into the Windows PC. They enter the correct username and password but receive an error stating the user profile service failed the logon. What should the technician do first? Boot into safe mode and create a new user profile. Reset the BIOS to default settings. Replace the power supply, disable antivirus software, or run a disk defragmentation. And here the correct answer, and the most logical, is boot in safe mode and create a new user profile, as a corrupted user profile can prevent login. Creating a new profile and transferring files can resolve the issue. A user reports that their laptop shuts down unexpectedly, even with a full battery. The issue happens more frequently when running resource-intensive applications. What is the most likely cause? Corrupt Windows system files, incorrect firewall configuration, overheating due to dust buildup, weak Wi-Fi signal, or expired antivirus subscription. And here the correct answer is overheating due to dust buildup, as overheating can cause system to shut down automatically to prevent damage. And this is another thing which you should know, that every computer, actually these are the latest motherboards, latest computers, they have built in this protective mechanism which is protecting your computer if, for example, it is heating up, and it is protecting it by shutting down automatically. And next question, a user reports that their computer is running extremely slow after installing a new application. Task Manager shows high CPU and RAM usage by a process they don't recognize. What should the technician do first? End the process in Task Manager, run a full malware scan, reinstall the operating system, adjust the virtual memory settings, increase the CPU lock speed. And here in this scenario we would run a full malware scan, as high CPU and RAM usage by an unknown process may indicate malware running. A malware scan helps identify and remove threats.